Very good morning, children. Today we will discuss about a new lesson that is not for breathing and not for drinking. So what we can understand with these two words, breathing and drinking, not for breathing and not for drinking. So you are going to learn about environmental pollution. Is it clear? So not for breathing. So what we are breathing? We are breathing in air. Is it not? So that air is made not fit for living organisms because of some reasons. So that's why here not for breathing and not for drinking means we know that water we are drinking and that water is made unfit for our use for drinking purpose or for any other activities. We cannot use that water. So that is about water pollution. So in this class we are going to learn about air pollution and water pollution. Air pollution and water pollution. So about these two we are going to discuss in this class. Is it clear? So now first let us learn about air pollution. Air pollution. So before we start this lesson, have you observed your parent taking the two-wheeler or four-wheelers to pollution checkup centers? Have you seen? So have you seen at some places or near petrol pump houses or petrol bunks or on highways or any other places that pollution control checkup van will be there. Have you observed that? Yes. So what it will do? It is going to help in identifying the pollutants which are emitted from the vehicles. So they are going to give you a certificate which is going to give information about what are the different kinds of pollutants which are produced from the vehicles and how much time it will be valid. So all that information will be given in that certificate which is issued by the pollution checkup centers. So here you can observe it in the textbook. So it is pollution certificate. Is it clear? Then it is a pollution checkup van. Pollution checkup van. Have you seen? Yes. So what for it is means we know that the vehicles they are going to emit so much of smoke or dust particles. So which are called as pollutants and so those are not good for environment. So they are going to issue that certificate. So here some questions are given. Which department issues pollution under control certificate? So we know that which department will give means pollution under control department. Pollution under control department. So this pollution under control department is going to issue the certificates. Okay, so then for how much time it is valid? So in your textbook whatever that information is given in the pollution certificate is for 6 months. Okay, then for which type of vehicle it has been issued means two-wheeler, any motor vehicle. Is it clear? So it is given for four-wheelers also, heavy vehicles also, that pollution checkup certificate will be given. Then what is emission test? Then what components are tested in the pollution checkup center? Means so when we are using vehicles, at that time what is happening means as you know that we are using fuels. So when the fuels are ignited, the vehicle runs. So at that time what is happening means when that fuel is burning, at that time some of the materials or some of the waste materials are going to be released into the atmosphere in the form of smoke or dust particles or like carbon monoxide or hydrocarbons. So such type of waste materials are going to be produced. So they are to test the how much percentage of that materials, waste materials is present. That is to know that one, we call that test as emission test. So what kind of waste materials are produced in that are mentioned, means you know that carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, you can take hydrocarbons, etc. So all these are going to be just released, and they will be how much amounts they are present, all that information will be given in the emission test. Is it clear to you? Then, so coming to the next point here, any vehicle when we are using, so it has to be maintained in a proper way. So if we don't maintain in a proper way, again that results in release of so much of pollutants from the vehicles. That's why here the government, you know that we are facing a lot of problems because of pollution, as the number of vehicles are increased. So everyone nowadays we want to go in our own vehicles. Is it not, children? So what is going to happen because of that? So as the number of vehicles are increasing, because of that more and more pollutants are going to be released into the environment. So because of that pollutants, what will happen means people and other living organisms are going to get are suffering from many kinds of infections or diseases, or the monuments are also getting destroyed. So all these are going to happen. So keeping that all in the view, so that what is the harm caused because of that pollutants, because that automobiles number it is increasing, and more automobile vehicles we are using, so that what will happen, as you know that more pollutants are released. So the keeping that in the view, the government of India, what they have done, they have passed rules. Okay, acts were passed. So Motor Vehicles Act, Motor Vehicles Act. So it was passed by the government of India. Is it clear to you? So Motor Vehicles Act was passed in the year 1988. 1988. Motor Vehicles Act. Is it clear to you? Then the next one is said to be Motor Vehicles Rules. Motor Vehicles Rules. So this act was passed in the year 1989. So what do they tell? So that Motor Vehicles Act is going to make you to understand that the vehicles which we are using, at least once in a 6 months they must be given for checkup. Okay, so the pollutant levels must be maintained. Maintained means levels have to be maintained. So too much of pollutants are not supposed to be released. So that information is given much importance in this Motor Vehicles Act. So once in 6 months we have to give our vehicles for emission test, so that we can know what is the position of our vehicle, condition of our vehicle. Then Central Motor Vehicles Rules. Central Motor Vehicles Rules, which is passed in the year 1989. What it is going to tell? So to use vehicles, we have to we have to take care of the people. We have to use helmets, and which side we have to move. All that rules on the road, all that rules will be explained in the Central Motor Vehicles Rules. Is it clear to children? Then, so when you ask your parents, they will be telling so that sky it is not clear nowadays. We are not observing, it is too hot, like that we will be listening from your parents. So why it is happening there like that? Because that pollutants or that harmful substances which are released into the atmosphere are making us very much bad conditions we are living in. Is it clear to children? So that conditions where we are living with the pollutants more and more in our surroundings, that results in pollution. pollution. So what do you mean by pollution? Before we go further, we have to know another important point, what it is means environment. So we know that we are living in a environment, and so this environment is made up of different types of cycles. Like cycle means not the cycles which use. Okay, so cycles here, water cycle, then the oxygen cycle, then carbon cycle, like that. So yeah, so in a cyclic manner, the exchanging of materials from living system to or biotic system to abiotic system, it is continuously happening without any disturbance. Have you followed what I said? Then there is a good relation between the living organisms and non-living components. Have you followed? And the sharing is also done in a proper way of all the things whichever are present in that particular environment. But because of some reasons, what is happening means the disturbance we are going to observe in the environment. Have you followed what I said? So environment is getting disturbed because of some human activities or natural calamities. Natural causes are responsible for changes, bringing changes in the environment, or sometimes human activities are responsible for bringing changes in the environment. So whatever it may be, whether it is natural or man-made causes for disturbing the environment, then that results in pollution. Have you followed, children? So what is meant by pollution? So the substances, when they are harmful substances, okay, the harmful substances when they are present in the large amounts than to be present, then that leads to the pollution. Have you followed? Then if it is air, then it is called air pollution. If it is water, so if water body is getting disturbed because of pollutants or harmful substances, then it is called water pollution. Air pollution means water. So harmful substances, when they are going to be releasing or when they are present in the excess amounts in the atmosphere, then that is called as air pollution. Have you followed? Then what do you mean by pollutants? Pollutants. So pollutants are said to be harmful substances. Harmful substances. Pollutants are called as harmful substances which are responsible for sometimes diseases or any other processes, any other harm is going to happen. So such type of substances are called, harmful agents are called as pollutants. Have you followed, children? So you can take here like dust particles or smoke emitted from factories. You can take or smoke emitted from vehicles, because so many poisonous gases are going to be released into the atmosphere. Have you followed? Apart from that, whatever things which you are observing, you are throwing them out, like cell phones, they are not in use. So they are going to be thrown. Is it not, children? Or computer parts. So all these are going to become cause for pollution, and such type of substances, such type of materials are called as pollutants, which cause harm to the environment. So in turn, the living organisms are getting affected because of that pollutants. Have you followed, children? Then, so before we go for this lesson, not for breathing, so you learned that the gases, harmful substances which are released into the atmosphere, that results in air pollution, I said. So now air pollution, before we start it, what you have to know? You must know the composition of air. Is it not, children? So let us learn first about that. What are the different components present in the air and what are the uses of it? How much percentage of that gases are present? All that we will learn now. Components of air or composition of air also we can learn. You know that air is a mixture of gases. Air is said to be a mixture of gases. So different gases are present in the air. Is it not, children? And all these gases are present in the amounts how much they are supposed to be present. Have you followed? So the major gases. So what are the different gases present in the air? You can take it oxygen, then nitrogen, then carbon dioxide, argon, then sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, then inert gases. So all the gases are present in their required proportions, not required, in the constant proportions they are present. Have you followed? In the atmosphere. So oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, argon are the major gases which are present in the atmosphere, and other gases are also there, like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, water vapor, dust particles. So all these are present in less amounts. Have you followed, children? So that's why they are called as inert gases, or they are called as trace components of the air. Have you followed? So now oxygen, how much percentage it is there in the atmosphere? It is present in 21% of oxygen is present in the atmosphere. So nitrogen, if we take, how much it is there? It is of 78% in the atmosphere. 78% of nitrogen is present in the atmosphere. Then carbon dioxide, how much percentage it is present means 0.033%. 0.033% of carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere. Then argon, if we take how much percentage it is present means 0.934%. 934% argon it is there, children. So then coming to the water vapor, it is 0 to 2% only, and 0.1% argon it is there, ARGON, children. Then other gases also are present, like what do we call them means neon, xenon, krypton. So all these are said to be the inert gases. They are present in very much less amount, so they are called as trace components of the atmosphere. Have you followed? So now so these are all present in the in this ratios only. Oxygen 21%, nitrogen 78%, carbon dioxide 0.033%, and argon 0.934%. So these are called as major gases of the air. And other gases, what I said, trace components. So argon, not ARGAN. ARGON I am talking. Is it clear to you? So argon and water vapor, dust particles, neon, xenon, krypton, all these are present in very less amount, so they are called as trace components. So till now you learned about the components of air or composition of air you learned. So now let us learn the uses of each and every component of major gases. In what way they are going to help the organisms. Have you followed? So now if we take oxygen gas. So what is the use of oxygen? So oxygen is necessary for all living organisms to survive. Is it not? So it helps all the living organisms for respiration. Have you followed? Then oxygen is also helping in burning things. So what do you mean by respiration? So you will say that the process of breathing in air and breathing out air is called respiration, like that. So as you are breathing in oxygen, what is going to happen to that oxygen what we are breathing in? So that oxygen is going to mix up with the blood, and in the blood food is present. Okay, so the food is getting broken down, energy, glucose is present, that glucose is getting mixing with oxygen, which helps in release of carbon dioxide, then water and the heat energy. So that process we call it as a respiration. So because of that oxygen only all living organisms can survive. So we are surviving, we continue our life, that is because of oxygen gas present in the atmosphere. Is it clear? Then oxygen is helping in burning things. So if anything, if it wants to burn, it is in need of oxygen. Is it clear to children? It is in need of oxygen. If it is burning thing, glucose, if it is happening in the body, it is respiration. Burning things, suppose if you want to burn a charcoal, coal, have you seen children? So coal, if it wants to burn, what is needed? Light is needed. Candle, if it wants to continue, what do you need? Oxygen is needed. Have you followed? Anything, if it wants to burn, what is needed? Oxygen is needed. So oxygen is helping in burning things as well as for survival of living organisms. That is, oxidation of glucose is happening in the process of respiration, which helps in releasing of heat energy. Because of that heat energy only we can able to survive. Have you followed children? Like that oxygen is useful. So it is useful for all living organisms. Then coming to the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, what is the use of carbon dioxide? Okay. So you will say what is the use, teacher, for with this carbon dioxide, like that. So in what way it is useful for living organisms? All plants, they are making use of carbon dioxide. Is it not children? So this carbon dioxide from the air is taken up into the plant through the stomata of leaves, and water from the roots. It also will reach the leaves, and in presence of sunlight, the carbon present in this carbon dioxide is converted to food by the process called photosynthesis. So plants are making use of carbon dioxide. What for? For preparing food. Preparing food. So what do we call the process of preparing food? That is said to be photosynthesis. So plants take carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Is it clear to children? So photosynthesis is happening, that is because of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, and that carbon dioxide is taken by the plants through stomata. So that will be helping in preparing food. That what kind of food it is prepared means it is said to be starch. So starch is prepared. First glucose, then it will be converted to starch. Have you followed? So for the preparation of food, carbon dioxide is needed. So plants are directly they are using carbon dioxide, and whatever that starch, whichever is formed, that is going to become food for all other living organisms. Is it not? Herbivorous animals, carnivorous animals, even human beings, any living organism, it is getting depending on the plants only for the survival. Is it clear to children? Then coming to the nitrogen. So this nitrogen is abundantly present in the atmosphere. 78% of nitrogen is present. But how we are making use, how the plants are making use of oxygen as well as carbon dioxide, directly how they are taking from the atmosphere, like that nitrogen cannot be taken up by the plant. Have you followed? But nitrogen is very much essential for the plants. Have you followed? So in which form the nitrogen is made available to the plants? Means in the salts of nitrogen. Have you followed? In the form of nitrates and nitrites, the plants are making use of nitrogen in the form of nitrites and nitrates. The plants are making use of these components. So plants are making use of these nitrites and nitrates, and that help in the synthesis of proteins. Is it clear to children? So proteins are prepared. Have you followed? Is it clear to you? So the plant's parts are developed. The plants are green in color. The leaves are green in color. How that green color it is got? That is because of nitrogen. Have you followed? So nitrogen is helping the plants in giving green color to the leaves and to develop the new parts of the plants and good quality of the seeds. All these are developed, that is because of nitrogen only. Okay, so that nitrogen is not taken directly from the atmosphere. So how the plants can get in the form of nitrites and nitrates. So you learned that in previous lessons, story of microorganisms, nitrogen fixation by free living bacteria which are living in atmosphere, converting atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates. Is it not? And nitrogen fixation is going to be carried out by symbiotic bacteria present in root nodules of bean family plants. Is it not, children? So all that nitrates or nitrites are used up by the plants. Have you followed? So that helps in the synthesis of proteins. So now proteins, what is the use of proteins? Proteins help in muscle development. Is it not? So muscle development. So the plants are preparing proteins, plant proteins like you can take all pulses, red gram, Bengal gram, green gram, horse gram. So all these are having proteins. Soya bean, rich source of protein is present in that. So all these proteins are manufactured because of nitrogen, and they even proteins contain nitrogen. So that proteins, they are going to be used up by the animals, then it become animal protein, and we are also making use of it. Animal proteins we are going to eat. Is it not, children? Like fish we are eating, then meat we are eating, eggs we are eating, milk we are taking. So in all these proteins are also present, which are very much good for our body and muscle development. Proper muscle development, muscle growth is happening, that is because of nitrogen. Have you followed, children? So like that, all these gases are no doubt they are very much useful to us, very much useful to all the living organisms. Then here what happened there, because of some natural calamities or natural activities or human interventions or human activities, the air is getting polluted or disturbed. That percentage is varying, and carbon dioxide percentage is increasing, oxygen volume is decreasing. Have you followed? So because of these kind of human activities, what is going to happen means the air, whatever it is there in the surrounding atmosphere, it is made polluted and it is unfit for any living organism to survive. Is it clear to you? So that is the reason we must know about the what is that? Air pollution. Why it is caused and what are the causes of air pollution and how we can prevent the air pollution. All that we must study. Is it clear to children? Then so now till now you learned about the composition of air, or components of air or constituents of air you learned, and uses of each and every component of air you learned. Now what are the causes of air pollution? So air pollution, I think you got an idea, children. Air pollution means what? If any harmful substance is reaching the atmosphere, or if any disturbance is there in the composition of this air because of natural activities or man-made activities, that results in air pollution, which is harmful to mankind, not only mankind, other living organisms. So now let us learn the causes of air pollution. Causes of air pollution. Already we learned that air pollution is caused because of natural calamities or natural causes and man-made causes. So what are the natural causes of air pollution? Natural causes of air pollution. What are the causes of natural causes of air pollution. So uh, nature itself is sometimes it is going to become cause for pollution, children. So which we call them as natural disasters. Natural disasters. Okay. So here what are the examples of natural disasters which we observe? Natural causes which are responsible for air pollution means first one is said to be volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions, forest fires, and sandstorms and tsunamis. Sandstorms and tsunamis. Okay. So now volcanic eruptions, forest fires, sandstorms and tsunamis. So these are natural causes of air pollution. So volcano. Have you heard of volcanoes? Have you seen volcanic eruptions, children? So what is going to happen there? So because of so much of pressure whichever is happening in the deeper layers of earth, so from that volcanoes that lava, it is getting just flowing out of that volcano, and it contains so much of dust particles, smoke, then what is that sulfur dioxide. So all these are going to be released in large amounts into the atmosphere, that results in air pollution. Then forest fires. So you will be observing in news also many parts of a globe. If you observe Australia or America, North America especially. Okay, so if we see vast areas of forests, they are in threat because of forest fires. So the frictional force is created because of heavy winds. What is happening means the plant pods, they are because of that frictional force, what is happening means that fire is produced, and that is going to evacuate the large areas of forests, which results in forest fires, and that is going to become cause for air pollution. Because of that, what is going to happen? Land is also getting polluted. Many animals and plants which are living in that particular forest area, they are vanished. So many problems we are going to face. Then sandstorms and tsunamis. So sandstorms, where do we observe? In the desert regions we can observe, or in coastal regions we can observe. The sand is it is washed off because of heavy winds. When winds are blown, so the sand particles, they are settling in some other places, that results in the pollution. Is it clear to you? Like the tsunamis, we know that earthquakes which are going to happen in the oceans. So because of that also, some waste materials are going to be released into the atmosphere, that results in air pollution. Have you followed, children? Then so you know that the natural disasters are responsible for air pollution, but most of the time air pollution is caused because of human activities. So like majority of air pollutants come from the things which we are using, which we are doing ourselves. Okay, so maximum percentage of air pollution is because of human activities. So what are the different kinds of human activities which are responsible for air pollution? Means you know that like industrialization, then that urbanization, growth and development. We are in that we are going to have more and more cities. Is it not, children? Then next is said to be what is that? Quarries. Have you followed? Quarries, mining, all these factories, all these are responsible for air pollution. Is it clear to you? About the man-made causes of air pollution, we will discuss tomorrow.